Hello everyone, welcome to Sapiomed tutorials. Today we'll be talking about endocrinology. And before I begin, I would like you to hit on the subscribe button to subscribe to this channel. Alright, so let's begin. So when we talk about endocrinology, it's basically the study of hormones and the glands that produces the hormones together with the diseases that are associated. So endocrinology deals with the hormones, the glands that secrete the hormones, and the diseases associated. Now, when we talk about hormones, hormones are chemical substances that are secreted by the glands and are released directly into the bloodstream to their target location or to their target organs. So when we take a hormone like insulin, for instance, we know that insulin is produced by the gland we call pancreas. So when the cells of the pancreas releases the insulin, they are directly released into the bloodstream and are sent to their target organs. Mostly for insulin, their target organs might be the liver, because that is where most of the glucose metabolism take place, and also the skeletal muscles as well, because in the skeletal muscles that is where we have most of the energy being used. Okay, so once it reaches the target location, it is uptake by by receptors that are found on the surface of the target organs to manipulate or to cause its effect. So in the case of insulin, the effect is to enhance the uptake of glucose. So it will stimulate certain proteins that we have within the cell to increase the uptake of glucose. Now, when we talk about the glands, we have the pineal gland, we have the pituitary gland, we have the pineal gland, we have the pituitary glands, we have the thyroid and the parathyroid glands, we also have the thymus gland, we have the adrenal gland, we have the pancreas, and then we have the gonads. So the gonads, we have the female gonads and then the male gonads. So here we have in this particular one we have the female gonads, and then we can talk about the testes as well. So that will be for the male gonads. Okay, so we are going to take a quick look at the glands and then the hormones they produce. So first of all, we have the hypothalamus. The hypothalamus is a part of the brain. And then we have the pituitary glands, we have the thyroid and the parathyroid glands, we have the adrenal glands, we have the pineal gland, we have the pancreas, and then we have the gonads. So these are glands. And these glands, what they do is that they produce hormones. So the hypothalamus has specific hormones that they produce. The pituitary glands will have specific hormones that they produce. The thyroid and the parathyroid glands to have specific hormones they produce. The adrenal glands have specific hormones they produce. The pineal, the pancreas, the gonads, all of them have specific glands that they produce, and the specific hormones that they produce. And these hormones are released directly into the bloodstream to cause its effect on target organs. Now let's talk about the hypothalamus. So another name for the hypothalamus is the master regulator. So one of the major things the hypothalamus does is that it regulates the pituitary gland, the anterior pituitary gland, and then the posterior pituitary gland. And in essence, it also release certain hormones. So the hypothalamus itself releases certain hormones, and then they also regulate the anterior pituitary gland and then the posterior pituitary gland. Now let's talk about the hormones that are released by the hypothalamus. So in the hypothalamus, we have a list of hormones. We have the TRH, which is known as the thyrotropin releasing hormone. We have the CRH, which is also known as the corticotropin releasing hormone. We have the GnRH, which is known as the gonadotropin releasing hormone. Then we have the growth hormone releasing hormone. Then we have growth hormone inhibiting hormone. Then we have prolactin inhibiting hormone. Then we have prolactin releasing hormones. So, and then we also have the ADH, antidiuretic hormones. Then we have oxytocin. So these are the hormones that are produced or that are released by the hypothalamus. Now, out of these hormones, we have the hormones or a particular type of hormones under the hormones released by the hypothalamus that stimulates the anterior pituitary gland to release other hormones. So they stimulate the anterior pituitary gland to release other hormones, and sometimes they inhibit what they stimulate to inhibit hormones. So once they stimulate the anterior pituitary gland, the stimulation causes a release of hormones or an inhibition of hormones. So we have specific type of hormones that stimulates the anterior pituitary gland. Now when we talk about the posterior pituitary gland, the posterior pituitary gland does not synthesize or release any hormones. The main purpose of the posterior pituitary gland is to store hormones, or for hormone storage. So the hormones that are stored in the posterior pituitary gland are antidiuretic hormones, and then what we call the oxytocin. So you could see from the diagram here that antidiuretic hormone and oxytocin are stored. So storage of hormones produced by the hypothalamus are stored in the posterior pituitary gland. And as a result, the posterior pituitary gland does not further synthesize any more hormones. Now when we go to the anterior pituitary gland, you could see that these hormones, the TRH, CRH, gonadotropin releasing hormone, growth hormone releasing hormone, growth hormone inhibiting hormone, these ones, they stimulate the anterior pituitary gland to either cause a release of hormone or inhibit the hormones. And these are the hormones that are released. So first of all, we have the follicle stimulating hormones. Follicle stimulating hormones. We have the luteinizing hormones. We have the thyroid stimulating hormone. We have the melanocyte stimulating hormone. We have the growth hormone. We have the we have the prolactin. Then we have the adrenocorticotropic hormone adrenocorticotropic hormone. So these are the hormones that are stimulated when the hormones from the hypothalamus, when these hormones from the hypothalamus interact with the anterior pituitary gland. So we have FSH, which is also known as follicle stimulating hormone. Then we have LH, which is also known as luteinizing hormone. Now if you could see here, you could see that the gonadotropin releasing hormone is what stimulates the production of follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone. And you could see from here, you could realize that the thyrotropin releasing hormone causes the stimulation of thyroid stimulating hormone. Causes the release of thyroid stimulating hormone. And then you could also see that for the growth hormones, the growth hormone releasing hormone causes the release of growth hormones, and the growth hormone inhibiting hormone reduces the release of growth hormone. So all this could be as a result of homeostasis. So when there is so much growth hormones as a result of the production through the stimulation by the growth hormone releasing hormone, this one activates the growth hormone inhibiting hormone to reduce the number of of growth hormones we have. Then we have the prolactin. So prolactin too, we have prolactin releasing hormone and prolactin inhibiting hormones. So for the prolactin inhibiting hormones, they inhibit the production of what? Prolactin. And prolactin releasing hormones, they release or they increase the production of what? Prolactin. Then we have adrenocorticotropin or corticotropic hormone. So we have the corticotropin releasing hormone. So the corticotropin releasing hormone also stimulates the production of what? Adrenocorticotropic hormone. The corticotropic releasing hormone stimulates the production of what? Adrenocorticotropic hormone. And then the MSH. For the MSH, it is also stimulated by this same one, the corticotropin releasing hormone, to release the melanocyte stimulating hormone. Alright, so that will be for the what? For the anterior pituitary gland. So all that you have to notice is that the hypothalamus is the master regulator, and the hypothalamus produces hormones, and some of these hormones affect the anterior pituitary gland to stimulate other hormones, and some of these hormones are stored in the posterior pituitary gland. So storage and stimulation, and the hormones that are stored in the posterior pituitary gland is the what? ADH, and then the what? The oxytocin. And then the hormones that stimulate the what? The release of other hormones by the anterior pituitary gland is the TRH, CRH, GnRH, the growth hormone releasing hormone, the growth hormone inhibiting hormone, the prolactin inhibiting hormone, and the prolactin releasing hormone. So these hormones what? Affect the anterior pituitary gland to either stimulate the production of what? Of hormones, or inhibit the production of what? Of hormone. So in either ways, it affects the what? The anterior pituitary gland. Now these are the keywords for the hormone. So under the hypothalamus, we have the thyrotropin releasing hormones, the corticotropin releasing hormones, the gonadotropin releasing hormones, the growth hormone releasing hormone, the prolactin inhibiting hormone, we have the growth hormone inhibiting hormone, we have the prolactin releasing hormone, the antidiuretic hormone, and then the oxytocin. So all these ones are produced by what? By the hypothalamus. And then when some of the hormones of the hypothalamus, which I have already explained, when they affect the anterior pituitary gland, these are the hormones that are produced: follicle stimulating hormone, luteinizing hormone, thyroid stimulating hormone, melanocyte stimulating hormone, growth hormone, prolactin, and adrenocorticotropic hormone. So that is all about the hypothalamus. In future videos, we are going to take each of the hormones and then go much deeper into their regulation and then how they affect their target organs. Alright, now let's do a very quick overview of what we've done today so far. So first of all, when we talk about endocrinology, we are talking about hormones, glands, and diseases, right? And then the hormones are the substances that are produced by the glands, secreted directly into the bloodstream to affect what? Target organs. And then the glands, these are some of the examples of the glands we have: the hypothalamus, the pituitary gland, the thyroid and the parathyroid gland, the adrenal gland, the pineal gland, the pancreas, and then the gonads. Then we talked about the hypothalamus. We said the hypothalamus is also known as the what? The master regulator. So the hypothalamus releases hormones, two sets of hormones. We have the hormones that are stored in the posterior pituitary gland and the hormones that affect the anterior pituitary gland to produce what? A lot of hormones. And we said the hormones that affect the anterior pituitary gland to produce a lot of hormones are the thyroid releasing hormone, the corticotropin releasing hormone, etc., etc. So these hormones at this particular side, these hormones, what they do is that they affect the anterior pituitary gland to produce these sets of hormones: follicle stimulating hormone, luteinizing hormone, thyroid stimulating hormone, etc., etc. And they either ensure the production or increase the production, or reduce the production. So for instance, growth hormone, the inhibiting hormones reduces the production, and the inhibiting hormones, we only have the growth hormone inhibiting hormone, and then the the prolactin inhibiting hormone. So after these hormones are secreted, when they are so excess in the blood, these inhibiting hormones what bring their concentration down. All right, and then for the other side that are stored in the posterior pituitary gland, we have the what ADH, and then the oxytocin. All right, so this was just an introduction to endocrinology. In our future videos, as I've already explained, we are going to dive or delve much deeper into the hormones and then their effects. Before you go, I would like you to hit on the subscribe button, subscribe to this channel, and gain more simplified medical insights. See you.